better.
Awesome.
Much better.
Amazing.
We're
So,
just saying the name of your blog, the meaning of your name. I love that.
thank you.
That's great.
Thank you so much. Well, I just wanted to start off by saying that, like, I've actually grown up with this franchise, so it's extremely exciting for me to be interviewing both of you, so I'm really excited.
Oh,
Well, thank you.
So just kind of jumping right in.
And that doesn't make us feel old at all.
Oh my god, no, I didn't mean it like that.
No, not at all. Our children grew up with it too. We're very, it's the first movie we ever made together as partners, and it's kind of but it is funny to realize how long ago that first one was.
I know, it's still amazing though. So, having produced all three films before this one, can you kind of tell me a little bit just about like what the Men in Black franchise means to both of you?
How do you like me to? Well, clearly it has a special place in our hearts because it was our first film, and we had the great good luck of it being a successful first film.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a world, and even in going through the tough, all the work of developing all three scripts, and movies. These big movies are tough to mount, and they always you come out exhausted. It has stayed to us a world that we are kind of delighted to re-enter. And I think in a way, it's almost its simplicity is one of its great virtues, that it is real world, that these are real people. They're not superheroes, and that it takes place in real world environments, but shows you this glimpse of the fantastical that's right beneath the surface, if you can only glimpse it. So that part of it we loved, and we always loved, even from the comic book, the cover of the comic book. There was not story we could use, and tonally the comic books were very dark, but just the pure imagery of, the agents in those black suits with ties and glasses and those crazy alien guns.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, it delights, that juxtaposition delights you. So this is kind of both a visual and a tonal.
But let me add just something on a more meta level, which is, it really was our first movie. And at the time, I think we had a little deal with Columbia or something, and we saw these 3 or 6 episodes of an out-of-print comic book. I do think it was before, certainly there had been superhero movies, but the Marvel Universe had not ignited. And it was just a great thing where there was no reason in the world for us to think we should do this, but I think we both looked at this comic book and read it and just had an instinct about it, that there were elements of it that just appealed to us. And we were very fortunate to be rewarded for following our instinct, is the best way I can put it.
That's awesome. Can you tell me what it was like working with F. Gary Gray on this film, and kind of what fans can expect on this upcoming film?
Well, listen, Gary is sort of unique if you look at the filmography, because, with the exception of science fiction, there's evidence of all of the different genres that go into making a Men in Black movie. Mm-hmm. Early comedies, obviously, with the Friday movies, big action, as just most recently with Fast and the Furious, and in some ways the movie that was most relevant to us was a movie he did quite a while ago called The Italian Job, which is an elegant, caper thriller. Mm-hmm. And there's just not a lot of directors who have had demonstrable success in very different genres. And
we also, although in a way it's the maybe least applicable one, where we thought Straight Outta Compton was a truly great movie.
Yeah, on top of it, made one of the best movies of the last 5-10 years.
Yeah.
And so it seemed like a great choice. It's also, Gary has a real name. When you're going in and doing whether it's called a reboot or reignition, after one director's put his stamp on something, you want someone who is coming with a point of view, which is we felt we had with him.
Yeah, I'll definitely say, just to add on, I was really excited just to see his name on the title. So that's really awesome that you guys chose him.
Right.
So can you tell me a little bit more about the significance of what international means to the title of the film?
it was actually very much a creative choice early on. We didn't do anything. We felt that the franchise, with all of the originators, which original cast, and with Barry Sonnenfeld, who created this amazing tone, and we felt after the third we were not going to try to proceed and do any more movies together. That we had completed that story, especially Will's story, and we didn't think about doing anything for a couple of years. But I'm sorry, what was the question? I got lost it. Oh, international. Oddly enough, it was as much about, because to enter a universe like this again, we did feel we had a unique situation with Men in Black, in that it always suggested this was one agency, not the only one. And a bigger world would exist to police those aliens. So creatively, to us, it was very freeing to imagine we could expand into other territories. And to us, made it fresher, potentially for the audience, and certainly for us as storytellers. So that was, early on why we felt we should do that.
And then more recently, I think it provided a little bit of rocket fuel from the point of view of the studio, because, we look at the last 5 years, it's been an amazing explosion in terms of the value of international markets in terms of global box office. So, it certainly, while it was not the reason why we went that way, I think that the fact that it was, because correct is a more internationally looking picture, gave the studio more confidence in greenlighting it and supporting it.
Yeah. So, Laurie, kind of going off of what you said earlier on in the question, in this film, we obviously see a new set of characters. So can you tell us how important it was for both of you guys to see a woman take the lead role as a Men in Black agent?
Well, it's funny, because we didn't talk about it in that term. It's a kind of unconscious in a way, although this whole idea for this movie, and in fact, unless you have, like Marvel, you have a whole comic book universe and you have stories to draw from. In this, which was a more, was generated more from just the basic idea of the other comic book, but we had to, with great writers, make it all up. I think that to us it felt cool and fresh for it to be a woman, but it really came with a very specific idea, and I don't even remember who or how we came up with it, but from early on, the thing that got us excited about working on it again was this idea of Molly, of a young girl who witnesses an alien encounter, who even has her own, moment with this alien creature, but then sees her parents be neuralized, and then is operating in a world where everyone told her what she saw didn't happen, and given her great intelligence and her determination, this was not a story about recruitment, but a story about a character who was, obsessed with finding Men in Black. And so to us, that was just, at a pure character level and storytelling, gave us a new engine for the movie.
It's interesting, the question, though, and Laurie, I can't remember. We've actually wrote an entire script, or worked with a writer who wrote an entire script that was based on the same premise of a young girl who has this encounter and then finds her way to Men in Black, and a script that didn't work. When we did that, there hadn't yet been a Wonder Woman or a Captain Marvel, so the idea, there hadn't been a precedent for a lead or a co-lead female character in a big franchise. And yet, my recollection is she was always Molly. It was never a young boy. And I can't really say why that was the case. It wasn't, you said, the way you phrased the question, was it important to Laurie or to us? And I can't say that it was a conscious choice.
Yeah, it was just this, we came up with this character idea, and she was always a girl. And then we did like the idea that, even with, in the third, and bringing Emma Thompson as the head of Men in Black. Obviously, we are already thinking about how to include more women in the mythology. And we always knew it would be a two-hander too, that it would be about her relationship with a male agent. So those two ideas are where we started.
That's so awesome.
So I'm going to say this last question.
Okay.
Oh, we're told this has to be the the last question. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries.
We talked too much.
No worries. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. So I guess my last question would just be, what was it like working with Tessa Thomas, representing this huge franchise?
Oh my God, we're going to sound like gushing fans. She is as remarkable as you imagine, maybe more so. We had like you seen her, performances, and remember the first time seeing her in Creed and saying, "Who is that?"
Yeah.
There's kind of no one who kind of, I don't know, whatever, between her great ability as an actress, her kind of mystery, there's something about her that's inherently just draws you in. And so we were big fans going in, and then she far even exceeded our expectations. She is so smart. She is so kind of understanding on a deeper level the issues of storytelling and character. She's so game. She's genuinely funny, and just, she's a complete delight. There's nothing she can't do. I really feel she's as versatile as, I would say we've had the great honor of getting to work with Emma Thompson, who shares all those qualities. And I kind of felt watching her against Emma, she could hold her own, and that's high praise.
It must run in the family.
It must. Yeah, we said it must.
I know.
Somehow we love that rapport to us was a great joy.
Yeah, like you said, I was a fan going into this, and after watching the movie, she did not disappoint. You guys did an amazing job casting her.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I feel? I don't know if you felt her, if you love old movies, but I actually think Tessa, while she's very modern and she's so cool, she almost inhabits, whether it's Bacall or my favorite, Barbara Stanwyck, or we did use some of those references. When we talked to her, we said, watch Ninotchka. I don't know if you know the character well, but there were women in those periods, both the actors and the roles that were written for them. But I do think Tessa has this strangely kind of timeless, classic quality.
Completely, like something
There's
that you
something
could...
about her which you haven't seen.
Completely, I completely agree. Well, Walter and Laurie, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And the movie was amazing, and it lived up to my expectation as a little kid when I used to watch these. So thank you so much.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that's the best.
Nicest comment we could hear, so thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.